Hi, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today I wanted to talk about chewing on heaven. Do you feel like your life is a delicious piece of fruit with sweet nectar available to you all day, every day? Unlikely. Unlikely. And certainly, I'm not someone that has walked through every moment of my life with that perspective. However, I can say, as I age and take in each day, I am more and more inclined to choose joy, to choose peace of mind, to choose heavenly bliss in the way that I walk in this paradigm. And I would say that you become what you place your attention on. If you spend 30 years studying playing the guitar, you're probably going to be pretty adept as a guitarist. If you spend 30 years studying art or 30 years practicing yoga, you are bound to have understandings that you develop and clarity in that realm of understanding. In the same vein, if you spend 30 years complaining about everything in life, if you spend 30 years turning your attention to struggle and strife, if you spend 30 years focused on what you don't like about life, then you're not going to have much opportunity to enjoy it because your attention is rooted in what isn't working. And there are many places, whole bunch of places to put your attention here at Earth School. All kinds. And a lot of people, just due to the voraciousness of negativity in the modern day world due to the number of two-legged, 7.9 billion, and the rapidity with which we have handed down negativity. Here you go, from one generation to the next. I wasn't loved as a child. Here, let me hand that to you. Now you try to grow up loving yourself. Oh, you didn't either. Let's keep handing that down. It might serve us as two-leggeds to take pause and to consider how we're holding our life, how we're holding our experience. And my experience is two-leggeds often will want to respond to a statement like, I see it over and over and over again. If I come and say like, oh, well, let's focus on the good, or let's find silver lining, or let's think about the positive thing, or let's see what the gift is in that. Very quickly, the ego will want to go, well, we can't just focus on sunshine and rainbows, Heather, or like, people are struggling. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Are we assuming that people are not supposed to have the experiences they're having? Because if you are focusing on struggle and if you're focusing on suffering, that naturally begets more of that. What you put your attention on grows. My mom said that all the time. What you put your attention on grows. And the heavens know that I have placed my attention on the struggle, the pain, the suffering, and not even other people's experiences, the experiences I've been handed on my own here at Earth School. I wouldn't wish on anyone. So it's easy to ruminate on them and think about it and like, man, some humans are so terrible. How do I forgive them? How do I get back to love? Well, I certainly don't get there by just habitually stewing on the past or worrying over the future. One place to find greater peace in my pathway, greater chewing on the fruits of that which is delectable and desired, is to be present, to be in my here now. I'm only ever physically here now. You can't jump out of now. Like, go to the future, go, get there, go now. Be in your past, get there. You only are able to traverse those planes in mind because in reality, in your paradigm, you are always physically present here now. And the mind can wander, and it can wander to past travesties, and it can wander to future considerations of nightmares we might live. And my question to myself that I'm just extending an offering here is, why do that? Why do that? What do we get from it? Like, what do you get from focusing on negativity? What do you get from assuming the worst in another? What do you get from turning your attention to what is awful about this world? What is possible that you could glean, that you could know, that you could experience, that you could see, that you could witness, that you could be, if you were to turn your attention to that which lifts your spirits, that which evokes greater joy, excitation? Seriously. Seriously, how much of this is the question I ask myself. How much of my attention is rooted in and focused on that which I do not want, that which I do not seek, that which does not fulfill me, does not evoke an experience of, I love life, I'm happy to be alive. I've said many times, and I'll say again, as somebody who has historically been chronically depressed, has had an overwhelming amount of suicidal ideation, there is a point at which my highest priority became my joy. And since that moment, that has been my highest priority. It's a higher priority to me than family, which is one of my favorite words. It is a higher priority to me than friendship. It is a higher priority to me than career or fulfilling my life's purpose. There's nothing in the universe that is more important to me than my own happiness. Why? Because if I don't even want to be alive, if I'm in a constant existential crisis, then we got to deal with that first. I've got to first at least want to be here in this body walking this path. So when I started redirecting my attention to my happiness, it was this grand realization of like, oh my gosh, my attention has been for a long time rooted in the pain of my history, in the pain of what I've had to face, in the pain of my experiences in my past, which don't even exist right now. They don't exist anymore. That chapter is closed. Those actions are done. Those moments cannot be changed. And yet, because they cannot be changed, do I really need to keep reliving them? Do I really need to keep reactivating them? Does it serve me to like constantly go back and just be like, wow, that was really awful? It doesn't feel good. I can tell you that much. It doesn't serve me having greater joy. So a lot of my focus, in order for me to be happy, and in order for me to be where I want to be, in order for me to experience joy in my two-leggedness, in my experiences here at Earth School, a lot of that starts with me getting present moment. Because there's plenty in my past to be upset about. That's a fact. Those stories, that's the story. That's the story that's there. And so my focus and attention being there really doesn't ever warrant excitation, an experience of feeling like, oh, I'm chewing on the nectar of the gods and existing here. It lends me to more darkened hours. So I am attentive to not being in the past. I work to bring my attention, the breath is a great way to do that, more into the present. There you are. Oh, there you are, where your breath is. There you are, where your breath is, not where your mind wanders. And the tricky thing about your mind wandering is not all your thoughts are true. You can take some of your experiences in the past and assume based on what you've experienced that you're unlovable, or you're not worthy of love, or that nobody understands you. It's fundamentally digging in the crates of the past. In my experience, unless you've had great experiences, then by all means, if that lifts your spirits, if that makes you feel like heaven on earth, then by all means, dig in the crates of the past and chew on those fruits again and remember what sweet nectars you've tasted. What I can say is any two-legged has some level of grace, some level of gift in this place, some level of quality of life that they can turn their attention to. Do you have fingers? What a grace. That actually helps you every single day of your existence. What about those toes? Whoa, how cool to balance. Do you have the capacity to smell? Great, then you can taste. If you don't have that, do you have the capacity to see? What a wonderful gift. Can you hear what I'm saying? Like, do you realize how many gifts you walk with each day? Do you have teeth to chew your food? There are so many gifts to existing, being able to receive morsels of food and liquid to quench thirst, and opportunity to connect and experience and learn and grow. I've always said one of my favorite places in the world is the library. Why? Because even if you don't have a home, you can be homeless and you can go and get access to information, computers, you know, all kinds of different things where you can grow and expand. So you can have any level of impoverished quality of life, but you can still offer yourself greater expansion in your awareness in your day-to-day life by exposing yourself to new content, new information. So really the question is, are you chewing on the fruits of the heavens? Or do you feel like there is delicious nectar in your gift called your existence? And if not, here's the question I would ask you. Where is your attention focused? Where has it been focused? What is your attention on? Are you learning a new life skill? Are you offering yourself some new grace, some new teaching, some new offering in this place? Are you going to nature? Are you talking to a tree or a bumblebee? Are you exposing yourself to things that you enjoy? Dancing around in your own house, throwing on some music you love, and just goofing around in your own place. Putting your eyes on nature has been a medicine to the two-legged since the dawn of time. Staring into a fire. There's so many ways that we can give ourselves offerings that really cause us to feel as if we are imbued with a sacred and an amazing experience that offers wonder and awe here. What I have found to be true in all that I've seen, all that I've reviewed about being a human in this place is that if life is hard, if the struggle is real, if life isn't worth living, I can look back at the reel of where my attention has been, and I promise you, if those are the thoughts and feelings I have about existence, my attention has not been in a place that offers sweet fruit. I'm just like chewing on bitter weeds and going, why is life so awful? Well, put the bitter weeds down. Put that down. Stop chewing on that. It's not delicious. It's not conducive to your upliftment, your joy, your quality of life, a life worth living. And perhaps pluck a delicious fruit from the fruit-bearing tree in the garden of your mind. You have this beautiful mind. It is a garden. And you can trample all the flowers and all the fruits and all the gifts in the garden of your mind. And you can sprinkle weeds all around. And you can make it a very non-quality experience for yourself to be in your vessel based on how you're holding and handling the garden of your mind. And you can also get in there and do the work. Pull those weeds, till that soil, put new seeds in, give it some sunshine, give it some water. The thing I call myself out on the most is to not just sit there and talk about. I call that mental masturbation, where you just talk about how hard life is, and you talk about how you want it to change, and you talk about how you want a different result, but you're not actually doing the work. If you want a new result, the biggest gift I've found to actually have it, to actually taste it, to actually enjoy it, and know its graces, is to do the work. So if my attention is in this darkened alleyway, and that's where I find myself, then I start by forgiving myself for choosing to look at the shadow, to look at what's hard, to look at what doesn't work. I recognize that that's what's going on, and that's okay. That's offered abundantly in this place. And I start to slowly find ways to turn my attention more and more to grace. May you chew on wonderfully delicious, sweet fruits, for no doubt you have many gifts in this realm. Go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link. We have new things coming up. Blessed be.